So because eh? So I don't know. I don't know how many people here that don't understand Igbo. Quite a few. So you learn Igbo today. Okay, so we'll mix it up. So we're here for a seminar, and we're going to keep to time. So our Igwe, as you all know, is 98 years old. And this season, he's marking his 60th anniversary on the throne. So Igwe has been on this throne. He has been the Igwe Neri for 60 years. That's what it means. So our prayer is that the children of Igwe, let them be as strong as Igwe. And let them be older than Igwe. In Jesus' name. And some of us who are here, Igwe, may you leave some of those blessings with us so that we'll be as old as you. Because we want to live long in this world. Now, since Igwe became the Igwe Neri, Neri has actually experienced a lot of growth. And Igwe has seen the best of Neri and is going to see even the better Neri, right? But what he has been able to help us achieve, he has a pain point. That's why he authorized this seminar. That all of us will come here to discuss how we are going to sustain what God has given us. Not only us, it is a problem in Igbo land, but we are using Neri as a case study. Because the people who are here are from different parts of Igbo land and beyond. And it's a problem of a black man. So we want to solve it. We want to start discussing it. And this is one of the first discussions. So the sponsors of this event, the Igwe's Palace, right? That, please call for them. Yes, they put in a lot to get all of us together. Right, Igwe Dal, thank you very much. Then you have Ifabata Igbo Development Association, a group of young people that they are trying to see how they can organize our thoughts and add to ongoing discussions other people do to bring development in our place. Please clap for them. Ifabata Igbo. Yes, incidentally, Afam Osigwe is one of our members. Afam, please stand up and get recognized. Yes. So take our greetings to them. Then the third sponsor is Keystone Bank, where I work. Yes. So we are taking financial literacy and support as one of our corporate social responsibility. That's why we're here. So please clap for me so that I can take it to Keystone Bank. So, but I'm from this town. That's why it is very important that we do this. I will benefit if it succeeds. So we are taking this. We go geography by geography, helping people to understand this. So without taking most of your time, we already have a program of events. But I want to call Igwe to come and give us our opening speech. Then Igwe can delegate. I understand he has delegated the Crown Prince, Dr. Freshly minted Doctor, PhD, Dr. Obianefo Orizu, to come and deliver Igwe's short opening speech. Please clap for him.
Na Igwe. Osi. Enekene. Ezoku Mudunne. Chairman. Well done. Mazi. Myself. Ozume. Biko. Samu. Biko. Koichi Nyazelu. Anyo na egbu na m. Asị m ka nsi onye ọhụụ na nnọọ n'ife abịa tata n'afọ Igwe His Royal Highness Igwe Dr. K. Onorizu III, Igwe of Nnewi. Ife a na-eme tata wụ part of ife ehibelu maka anniversary Igwe. Now her on 60 years on the throne. On Abakwa 98. We say ka edevegasia ọtụtụ ife aya wee megasịa ka e wee gosipụta na aha o mere 60 years on the throne na ọ ya adụ ka ahọ ndị ọzọ ewesị ka eme this seminar wee gosipụta nsogbu a na-enwe na Nnewi ya na n'ala Igbo since Igwe ji wee banye n'ọchịchị ọ achieve go so many things mana ebe a ka a na-enwe mpeli ọ bịa na-ewute na mmadụ dụchaa ndụ nwụọ onye elu 1 year ego niile ọ kpatara efili ya afọ niile onye ahụ talụ wee fibe nnukwu company ọnwụọ ụmụ ya nụrụ ọgụ ebe a ha na-anụ ọgụ ndị ilo eso ebata ewejide afọ niile nwoke talụ ghaa ya ọ dịka ife emeghe eme ị na-agụ ekele dị Chukwu ibido from Ojukwu na since Ojukwu ji wee nwụ ego niile Ojukwu kpalụ the richest man in Africa, that legacy is not in existence today. You wait from Ojukwu where Kolonaga where go today. And so would you share na wona nte mmadụ ya afụcha ka o melu Mr. A ha sị na ọ ya eme ha ha nwụkwa omekwa ewesị ka anyị gbakọnyọ ka anyị malụ anyị na-eme ka ife ọzọ na-eme anyị kedu ife melunu ya wụ na aya ya edebenwu ọnọdụ ya dị ka ife ndị ọzọ na-edebegasị ịbịa na western world ifugasịa companies lugolu 200 years nwoke nwụọ ụmụ ya take over ụmụ ha nwụkwa ụmụ ha take over kedu ife melu na ya dị ka ndị ahụ ife anyị ji wee sị ka anyị nọkọ tata ka anyị bido ọhụ na tata ka anyị enwetacha the solution mana ọ ka ebido maka na anyị ma na ife nsogbu a na-enwe n'ife niile ewu ibido ebido wee na-enwe olileanya na tata anyị ebido ife a na-eme ya emekwe na anyị afụ iri solution dị ife na-eme anyị demen.
Biko ka ọ n'obiaka. Okay, thank you, Dr. Orizu. The benefit for this. So the next, because we're going to be very fast, a lot of people, we want to acknowledge a lot of people are following us online, on 3 social media handles. In fact, Chief Oster Chidoka is transmitted online on his Facebook page. Then we have two YouTube channels that are transmitting this. And a lot of people are watching us online because people couldn't come. It's not the wrong timing for our people and many people who actually wanted to be here, but they couldn't. So now, I want to read a very short message Ajulo Zodike sent because he had an emergency that he needed to travel abroad. But he said something that is very provoking for people who will talk today. As we talk, we reflect on that. So I will read. Value destruction and stunted development of our society. Where shall we obtain from Nnewi, or where will Nnewi be in the next 20 years' time? Almost all the factories in existence by 2018 have shut down. Other new factories started since then, and they have closed down. Nnewi market has shrunk. Most private hospitals, banks, and other fledgling service businesses have scaled down or closed down. Young people are deserting Nnewi in droves. Or the factories in existence since 2018 have all tripled their sizes, with many new factories thriving. Nnewi market is rated as one of the biggest single markets in Nigeria. Nnewi is the center of commerce for all types of service businesses. The 5 universities and 3 teaching hospitals within 15 kilometers of Nnewi are highly rated in Africa. Unemployment for youths within Nnewi is very low, or despite the regular influx of people. So 2 scenarios he painted. Now, the actual situation at Nnewi 20 years hence will be between these 2 scenarios described above. Which one is the actual situation and which one will be closer to depend on? And the one we choose will depend on so many factors, top of which shall be the actions of the leaders of major existing businesses and manufacturers in Nnewi. Where did some of these businesses of 40, 30, 20, 10 years ago, why did they disappear? And where did they go to? Is your big business of today inoculated against whatever virus that devoured those businesses that disappeared? Is such inoculation possible, or is it still available? He now said, a large business worth of 1 billion naira as a going concern may fetch up to maybe 200 million in liquidation. Their business though, that what? Will be 1 billion naira. Actually, image business, you realize about 200 million from it. So that means that about 800 million have been cancelled or destroyed. Owners lose so much value by allowing their hitherto thriving business to fail or go into liquidation. The society, especially the immediate community, who suffers heavy losses in terms of truncated development, because people will lose job. You have to go, Then, in most cases, those large businesses we know which failed, did so at the demise of their founder. Such founders planned and even made provisions for their heirs, mainly their children, male, to inherit their businesses in exclusion of females. The businesses failed because of many different reasons, but the bottom line was that the solid, highly valued businesses were no more, and the intended heirs were only able to recoup a small fraction of the SY value. Are we smarter than those before us? Are we planning for the future any differently from how those before us did it? People in some countries have found ways of sustaining businesses they built, even when their children could not succeed them. Their children earn more out of their parents' businesses by way of dividend. They would have it if those businesses had collapsed. So, mean that they earn more money through dividend than what would have gotten if the businesses collapsed. Then the efforts of their parents were not wasted, and the society developed faster because the business prospered and survived. He now said, let us think about this. That is Chief Dr. Sir Ajulu Zodike, the founder of Cotis PLC. Right? That is the thought. And he sent it to me because he had to rush to the US for a very urgent reason. I said, okay, we're going to read it here, right? So, and this will be circulated. Now, so deriving from this, the purpose of our coming here today has been illustrated by the Igwe through the Crown Prince. But now, clearly, I snaye to afata. So, makani ifai bari eba we I hate to have ebe mmadụ and I hate to have anu uka. So, kai chain ife as ndị mmadụ of equal heads. You have to go to find a solution to this. So, biko no anyị bịara ebe a maka ịmụ akwụkwọ. So, nke onye tiri ya zelu. So, you are all welcome to this seminar where we shall ponder and find solutions to problems militating against generational wealth transfer in our land, Nnewi and Southeast. Recall that in Nnewi, a man is only allowed to eat a chicken with his family alone. That is family members. But not a goat or a cow, which must be shared with the extended family or munna. Right? So, a big business or conglomerate belongs to a town, state, and is an important citizen of a country. It is then very careless for the founder of a conglomerate not to take measures to ensure that the conglomerate lives after him or her. Ndennewi, you know as much as I do that Toyota, Ford, AG Leventis, Subaru, Hilton, Yamaha, and so on were businesses started by people who have long died, but their businesses are still alive and even doing better than they were when the owners were alive. You understand? Toyota wa afa mmadu, Nissan wa afa mmadu, Hilton, this Hilton hotel in Anamake afa mmadu. In fact, the Hilton now, the Hilton was wine, one young girl was the hair, but are they involved in the management of the business? Mana amateur business you dividend, you actually distribute the profit or collect you want to go? So now, Igbo and particularly in Nnewi are blessed with great builders of businesses. But unfortunately, the conglomerates collapse immediately. That is the big businesses collapse after the owners die. We need not to list the names of those businesses because we know them. Right? Okay, Maha. Or the Obi trial, he bought some names, but not. What is important is to prevent the occurrence. The painful thing is that many Nnewi owners of big businesses are moving and behaving the same way. You have to go, Oduze Kifa, even a Ben or Yanya Belgaba, also Mezina, Chukwa Juedeke. We are gathered here, can you to Bonifa Alo? Makodo, others gone over Haka. For effective communication, the speakers in today's seminar have been encouraged to speak as much Igbo as possible. Questions and contributions from audience could be in Igbo to make understanding much easier. So, just like to Obisweku, associate so that even if we can interpret it. So that it means if you like medicine, my throat is calling me firewood. Even you na abomonko. So then the highly cerebral chief Osita Chidoka, the Ikobosi, was selected to give the keynote address, not because he's a businessman, but because he is a thinking and exposed man. He must justify his rating today, here, as one of the rising original Igbo thinkers. Right? So, we shall listen to industry players too, and their heirs apparent, to tell us about their experience and challenges in ensuring that their businesses live after them. They will be willing to take questions from the audience. Mananka Kita, due to within the night, suppose to be a poku here, right? Flight, it was a chaos yesterday, right? So Chikasen couldn't be here. Then Ekerson, but what we now did was that we decided to work with the chairman of Kutis PLC, who is the daughter, not even the first daughter of Ajulo Zodike, Chief Ajulo Zodike, the founder. So she's going to take a stage here when we do the panel session. And again, the engineer Dika Nokafo, the deputy managing director of Chikasin Group, will here. So I think they would answer questions The lady is a lawyer. The other one is an engineer, right? They will answer questions, but the keynote speaker and the other speakers would actually throw a lot of things here. All of us will discuss, and please ask questions. Then, after Chief Chidoka, we will listen to Dr. John Mbono, who is one of the most brilliant and intelligent Nnewi men that I've known. He made a first-class degree in mechanical engineering from University of Manchester, UK, where he also earned his PhD on scholarship. So he is now a consultant after working in Shell, Heineken International, then retired as the director of Nigerian Breweries after managing some of their outlets, like the one in Sierra Leone. Then he is a co-founder of a management firm, right, management consultancy firm, which is a partner. Then Mazo Siwe is a senior advocate of Nigeria. So he got to that position at a very young age. And Mazo Siwe is one of the smartest lawyers I've ever seen. But he doesn't look it. He pretends to be humble until you meet him in court. So, here. Then Dr. Iman Seido has taken the most difficult task. He will be here taking notes and summarizing them. So at the end of the day, he will tell us the key points to note. Thereafter, the chairman of Nnewi Chamber of Commerce, Prince Jude Osumo, will give us a closing remark. So as I said before, this seminar is being sponsored by Igwe's Palace, right? As decreed by Igwe. And Ifabata and Igbo Development Association, then and Keystone Bank. So now, I want us to just sit down and listen, take notes, and ask questions without wasting time. I think we would want to do the right thing because the person who sent on errand just arrived. So Igwe will bring cola nut in our traditional setting so that we don't annoy our ancestors, right? Then after that, we will have to call DJ. We'll have to welcome the keynote speaker after the breaking of cola nut to just do justice to while we watch him on television. I'll make notes even when he's supporting somebody we don't support, but we'll still love him, right? So I want to take this to Igwe. Igwe. So, Nebugoge, I appointed Chief Oster Chidoka to come and deliver his
People's Club, Ewo, People's Club, na Nigeria. Odogwo, audio fele, fa kwesi, Ezia Fakego, Anakwadebe.
Igwe Nnewi. Aya Fugo, Jaya Manada Fugo Kwada. 60 years, I brought 60 days. And 98 years, I brought 98 days. Igwe Kenegi. Iju Koge Bateba, well, Kogenaga. Nini Nebeleba Tata, Oga Dikuno, God, the Igwe Nafa Jesus. Can never thought in your Leguana for People's Club. The Onyakuloku before me, I recognize Segundi Neba, the prince in here, the crown prince. Landinu Madonna Gaseba, Asimonia Obuna, non, Konyechi Yazelo. Also in a People's Club, Bundesi Bomume, Neziafa, Kakwanego, Okwezioku. Eziafa Ego. Obu na ekpolegwu agabazie ị ga-anụ afa ndị niile ọkpọ na People's Club, GBC Chukwuka, Ekene Chukwu Ilodibe, GMO fa, OC Gravel Okeke, Udubaka. Ị ga-arịa befa kịta a na-agba Christmas, mmadụ anọrọ ya, ụmụfa anọrọ ya. O nwere egwu ọzọkwa ndị Peacocks bụ Edikwansa. Aba. Ndị mmadụ chema maka Zebrodaya ka a na-agụ mana ọ bụrụ maka Zebrodaya egwu a bụ maka Aba ọ kpọrọ anya ehie Toyota Crown Mike Merchandise Electronics Dealer ị gaa na dị egwu ị ga-agụ ka ọ kpọgide afa ndị na-eme biznes na Aba o nwere biznes afọ na-emezi exist tata ije Aba bụzi a shadow of itself o nwere onye believe na Aba bụ the home of ndị Anambra, ndị Imo, ndị Port Harcourt, ndị Rivers. Onye ọbụla evu bụ mmadụ bi na Aba at that time. Mike Nkwoji bụ onye Enugu Ukwu. Chuks Okolie glass dealer bụ onye Anambra State obi na Aba. Akajiak onye Mbaise na Aba. Mana ilu Aba tata Aba dị ka ebe a gbara ọsọ. Maka gịnị? Ọ bụ na ndị Igbo si na-emesi ife nwa ọbụla akapịrị ya isi ọ bụrụ gịnị ọ bụrụ otoro ọ na-awa n'afa so na ife a discuss tata the issue of intergenerational wealth transfer bụ an important conversation to have and I am here with data and analysis. Family businesses are very successful all over the world. Family businesses do better than public companies, in case you don't know. Family businesses around the world have one significant feature. They are always very successful if managed properly. But anyway, something family businesses are successful. Only if you call for how they are successful. Only reason is you can manage. Only reason na baby of ma ni ife na ade ebo kwesịrị ịdị. All the philosophy eji malụ ndị Igbo ife na ade ebo megene ebo kwesịrị ịdị. Amụta nwa ga-abụ eze, azụbi azụba ka ọ ga-esi bụ eze. Ọ da-abụ ofu ogeli adachi obodo. Ofu ogeli adabụ isi mmụọ. Ọ bụ na amụta nwa ọ bụ na ọ da eme ọfụma, ada ebunye ya isi mmụọ ka o buru na-aga. Ọkwa eziokwu. So na the first principle bụ na onye izizi afụtala afụ kpata ego ka Okonkwo na things fall apart. Okonkwo na-ese papi anya, papi enwere ife o nwere. Uwe jekwuru ofu nwoke si ya biko nye ya ji ka ya kọsi ya ji a opuo ka akwụkwọ ya maka na nna ya nwere ji ọra pụlụ ya o wee welu ji nye ya arụ afọ ajọ ife mee mmiri ezoro ọkọchị bịara nne mana Okonkwo mesịa survive maka na ife eji ama mmadụ bụ na the first venture capital bụ ndị Igbo bidoro ya onye je ebe mmadụ gbaziri ife o nwere wee je taba afọ iwe nụba wee zọba ndị niile ifu Chisco ifu Chikasin ifu Koscharis fi ịtọ na-agba afịa Ghana ha buru atụ from Nigeria je Ghana na Ido Park ka fa na-anọ fe buru fancy items from Nigeria je Ghana fe bunata atụ from there all fi ịtọ bụ this big conglomerate ị na-afụta Chisco Chikasin and Koscharis o nwere onye nyefe ọwa nkobo nnafe nwere onye ọma na Abuja nwere onye bụ nnafe nwere $1 arapụrụ fa afụfụ mbọ uchu ana m agwa ndị mmadụ na ife eji malụ ndị Igbo bụ uche akọ na uche uchu ịgba mbọ Okonkwo wee jee gbagide mbọ ji oboro na eboro wee were ya gbagide mbọ wee buru nnukwu mmadụ na ụmụ na Ụmụọfịa wee chi echichi niile dị n'Ụmụọfịa bụrụ nnukwu mmadụ maka na ndị Igbo na-erekọgnaiz ife enye gị fada sị kedu nke nna gị nye gị ofu nwoke fụ my son si ya kedu ebe a na-etu gị ọsị ya nna nyere ugo ọsị ya mekikwa shọn inyekwa nwa gị na nna gị nyesi ego ugo mekikwa shọn inye nwa gị ọ bụrụ enyesi ego fuo na nke gị. So na the major principle, the fundamental principle bụ the bane of Igbo society bụ na na-abụ onye kpata ego from afụfụ ọsị ka ụmụ m ghara ịta afụfụ afụ nta ma ụmụ ga tara afụfụ afụ ịta afọ ama m ife a ga-eji ego wee mee onye ifo ọsị na ụmụ m agha atakwa ụdị afụfụ a si were moto na-ebuje fa skuulu si na-agbara fa first class ka fa na-aba mana ife niile ị na-eto ife mee gị ji wee dị successful n'ụwa bụ afụfụ afụ ịta then ị deny ya the next generation ya bụ afụfụ ibu ura isi mmụọ abụnyefa papụọ na Mkpọ Junction ka etufuo ya. So ị na-agagharị n'obodo na-ene anya ịfụ na ife bụ nsogbu na Igbo nọmba 1 bụ na ndị tara afụfụ kpata ego achọrọ ịkwado ụmụ fafọ mmụọ fa ga-eti ọnya bụ nọmba 1 principle. Ịkpata ego n'ụwa ife izi ị ga-eme bụ izu ọnwa gị adị m chọọ na Chikasin na-anọrọ ebe a ma ọ bụ na ọ na ya aka m repeat ife mụ na ya kpa one day ọ sị na ya kpọrọ nwa ya je kpọnye ụkọchukwu ka o biri na bụ ụkọchukwu the boy bekata ife ụkọchukwu na-eme ya tata sị ya ogote ji emesho na ọ ga-eri eri mana ọ sị na ya emenwu ife dị ya na obi ya ekwe ya mie ya wee kpọrọ ya kpọnye ụkọchukwu sị ya bie na bie ọnwa afọ je INSEAD onye nwajego eme MBA abroad onye na-arụ on most of Chikasin's business today maka na-akwado ife akwado iluo na royal family na England before ị bụrụ eze amụta gị ebụrụ prince na ị ga-abụ eze akwadobe gị na ị ga-abụ eze ị ga-eje army ị ga-eje navy ị ga-eje air force ị ga-arụ ọrụ na everywhere ị ga-eje Eton college ị ga-eje university Prince of Wales akpọrọ ya na Wales o jee school na Wales mbụ Prince Charles ọ na-ebe na ya tagbuo onwe ya n'afụfụ asị ya maka gịnị a na-akwado gị maka echi a na-akwado mmadụ akwado a na-akwado onye isi mmụọ akwado a na-akwado onye a ga-ebunye ọfọ family akwado. So na nke bụ izizi n'okwu intergenerational wealth bụ na anyị ga-akwado the next generation anyị ga-akụziri fa uche anyị ga-akụziri fa uchu anyị ga-akụziri fa egwu Chukwu maka na onye na-enwere ya ama ama ife a ga-eji ego wee mee nke dịka ya bụrụ na onye ọbụla ma nke bụ eziokwu onye ọbụla ma nwa ọmụta ịmụta nwa ọbụ na ọ bụrụ onye ga-emenwu ife a chọrọ ewerekwana ya tinye n'ife a na-eme asịkwana maka na nwa my first wife asịkwana maka na ọ dị ọkpara m maka onye ọbụla mụta nwa ma nwa ya Okonkwo mụtara nwa a na-akpọ nwa oyi ọnọdụ ọ na-eri alịlị ya wishi na nwa ya nwaanyị bụ nwoke anụnwa ya mụta o wee mee gịnị ọ kpọrọ nwa oyi kpọnye ndị ụka ije na arrow of God ị ga-afụ eze ụlụ onesia dị ọkpara ya anya bụ edogo mee ya anya fee n'isi nke ọ bụla mmụọ chuzu ya ka a ga-eme. When nke ga-abụ ilu ife ya ifu na-akwadola onye ahụ akwado, ifu the person ifu na-akwadola ya akwado, ifu na-akwadola ya maka echi, akwadola ya n'oge eme ife echi pụta ịmụta nwa ibido from nwata kwadobe ya. So onye ọbụla ma nwa ọmụta, family business does not mean family run. It means that no family nwe mana ga-achọta ndị ga-arụ ọnụ ya bụ business. So ọ bụrụ na ịdị lucky n'ụwa ọ bụrụ di ọkpara gị bụ onye na-agba mbọ nwee the capacity, anyị ekene Chukwu. I'm sorry to say this, mana anyị ma maka o nwere banks na n'Igbo land anụwa, big bank, very successful bank. Ewere ya bunye onye na-abụrụ onye isi mmụọ, o buru tufuo. Ụmụazị ndị ọgbọ ya je buru bankị papịa, ọ ndị ọgbọ ya ndị na-enwere ego nnafa nyefa. And tata that bank abụrụgo nnukwu bank. Maka gịnị? Ada ebunye onye akwadoro akwado isi mmụọ, ọ ga-atụfu ya. So intergenerational wealth na-ebidogodi from the family, ka the families wee kwado. Abroad, there were so many families for their long-term business. Number one, the Rothschild family. The Rothschild family is a banking family. The father moto mwe nkopolo je tinye na bank, nkopolo tinye na various cities, tinye fa na obodo di iche iche. Kwado befa. No for they own this bank. In the 18th century in Frankfurt, the man who Bidolia Rothschild established a banking business that has expanded throughout Europe by strategically placing his sons in key financial centers. Key financial center. Till today, the Rothschild family can their life and wealth in the banking industry. Sam Walton, the owner of this shop, America, like Walmart. The Walmart family. All the biggest supermarkets in the world. The Walmart family is such that the danger of Nnewi market, of Onitsha market, which one day can Walmart to Nigeria. Makafa wa Nigeria. If you eat $1 million a day to Africa China, eat $200,000, $5 million. Mba, fama na 150 million, 1 billion they go to China. So if you not here, the price are below 50% off from carbon ego with $1 million. Money, the more interesting thing, they don't carry inventory. They go the money. They put everything in a Walmart. Makagene, the family, some water in Kwadolumuya Kwado for every fanota. Okwadolumuya Kwado. Okwado, the family, our family wealth. They went public. Manumuya, about 6 of them. They are in the richest part of the world. They are not good rich people in the world. And I go more independently. Makagene, Akwado for Akwado. Ipatana obodo dika Nigeria, in India, the Ambani brothers, their father without a will. Makaka gabio kuya dem sure na afam no he oge ku maka will and trust. Ofunna. We na no ogo an na kole makia. Ogo enwero end. MSC ke the business into two. Onye nka welu telecommunications, onye nka welu industry. Still, the ogo ake biro low tata, the two brothers kanano. Makageni, their father akwadoro for tomorrow. Omoro noga, with assets ni no way. Osiro umukwa sisi etu ameya. Mako kandi Igbo seme. Acho ma from sisi etu ameya. Si welu nka nyonya. My grandfather Nozobolo, my great grandfather Ezoma. Osinwe nwoke eweti ginwo na nka anu ngobani. Mananka no mmadu ji wee gbaziri m ego ọ bụrụ na ndị bịa wetakwa ego afọ nyekwa fa na fa back ọ ka ndị Igbo si agwa ụmụfe okwu akpata onye Igbo ji asị na nna m gwa m. My father told me all the most important quote onye Igbo ga-asị na nna m gwa m na-etu aka ọ dị maka ọ na-abụ ọbịa ọsị gị achọkwa m afụrọ m sikwa etu a mee ya enwere onye a na-akpọ akala aka Nnewi okwunu m ya ọ kwadosiri ife akwado nese nwe anya ifo nwe ya ifo na-emesi ET power na-eme maka gịnị a na-akwado mmadụ akwadola obi ọra akwado. Yes, aha ka o ji eme ifo na-eme o take good thing bigger than eme papia nọ ije n'ọzọ obodo ị ga-afụ onye na-akpọ nne eto ọra zilike ife eji mara papia bụ rod Whenever nature will go my road, my everything, my hotel, oil and gas, take here to the next level. Makagini, akwadoli akwado. And akwado mother akwado for you more. So, he take here the Ambani family. He take even the Gucci family. Fanu the logo, look at dog, destroy your value. But even in Nigeria, I'm on the board of a company. That company in Kaduna, part of the shareholders, but the Dan Tata family. This is now 3 generations of Dan Tata family. They are invested in all the segments of Nigeria economy. On Abana, if Dan Tata were, I'm shocked. They saw 9 years on a board. If you are a man, Akwadoli Akwado for your name. If his submission at the board, a man Akwadoli Akwado. So no nyo bonapo mwelego balego na any family. Iga akwado the next generation. Independent data na emo fuma. Anyway, the case of Santo Domingo Group in Latin America, the man will be the conglomerate of brewing business. Man, we take the business over from beer production. They diversified under his son into multiple sectors, media, telecommunications, and finance. Upon his death, his son, Alejandro, took over the business again and continued his father's legacy of diversification and strategic investment and has navigated the business to the next generation. So if you look at the Gucci and Santo Domingo family, they offer valuable lessons in family business and wealth transfer. The Gucci story reminds us of the importance of family unity and effective governance, while the Santo Domingo family demonstrates the power of diversification and strategic leadership. Onye papia nazo palm oil. Eputakwazuakwa the palm oil every day. The man ekwadoro for the future. Because he get to the next level. Either they get backward integration to the farm. Either they diversify the business to the future, to the products coming out of the palm oil. He continue to about oil. He can go, but the business will be overtaken. Upon in okay, slave trade. The mad na capture the slaves. All of the Port Harcourt. You learn the chabia with Obo, Febulia. Manolo one day, Fabulosian the Madobia, Uweru Bobia. Not the first 1 week, Obabero. Not the second week, Obabero. Farmer on Abba and go slave trade in the world. No way is the ship for slave trade. But again, farmer on a slave trade and so all the important name were clear succession policies. Now, all the important name were adaptation to changing business environments. Iga change. Nandina Akwado for that future, the amount of us they change. And they got for the power of a changing society. So many people had among a society in a change. That was the problem of Okonkwo in Things Fall Apart. Mboji just exile where nata. Omoro no was a change go. Na Christianity abatago no bodo. Nandi befe jebego Mboji we just ebu onye ochachozie ka ndi befa join no ya no. Onye obuna kwuru na ekiri. Owefu na ife a na-eme na ọnwa ọkụrọzi ome gịnị owejekwa ụdọ maka na onye ga-anya ma na ndị ọcha ga-abịa. So any human being amụrụ n'obodo na-echange na ife na-echange that human being is likely to make mistakes. Now number 10 is legal and financial framework, and that is the most important issue here today. Oburi ide will oburi abuna ị ga-anwụ. Oburi ikpọ mmadụ kwuo si na-etu a ka isi chọ ka edobe ife oburi abuna ị ga-anwụ. Ife ome bụ na ị na-asị ọ bụ na achọ ma afọrọ m ka ndị Igbo si ekwu okwu nekwa ka ife a ga-adị. Ọgụ a na-anụ na be Ojukwu transport ọkwa maka will or no will. Ọ bụrụ eziokwu. Ọkwa ka na court ife a bụ almost how many years after the man? We are getting to 60 years. I can ekpe Ojukwu transport company. Ndị be Festus Okotie-Eboh ka nọ na court about Festus Okotie-Eboh's property. Ọ bụ na ị na-ekili Wakanda, the movie, the bossman Chadwick, he had colon cancer. He died in 2020. But for some strange reason, on where away. What was the implication of that? His assets, according to California law, was divided into 3 ways. The wife took one part, 1 point something million dollars. He had about 3 point something million dollars in assets. The family, the parents took 1/2, and the state of California took 1/3. So he lost 1/3 of his assets to the state by simply not writing a will and saying, this is how it should be shared. He could have saved himself of that 30% he gave up to the state of California. So, being able to plan your succession. But in the case of family business, so what do successful generational businesses have in common? They prioritize planning. They are always planning. They make it clear, this is our plan. This is how the business will go. Visionary owners are always planning for the future. Number 2, they have long-term thinking. A business that will outlive the owner must have long-term thinking. So, I will not have sweet, we get sweet, ebunata sweet, but they go. Obo ni hena gafe kitabu biscuit, it was biscuit. So you will know that your business is of a short-term nature. You have to think about the long-term sustainability. I continue to make twice a make. And finally, they have governance infrastructure. There is always a governance system. That is to say, what rules control us? How much dividend can I now every year? How do you pay the shareholders? How do you pay their school fees? How do you pay for their life of my children and their grandchildren? How do you sustain them so that they do not destroy value? As now, when a business dies, you destroy value. Value destruction. So finally, actually, Nnewi is a bastion of Igbo business. A place that Forbes magazine has had to write about Nnewi, the town of the billionaires. Forbes magazine is a foremost financial magazine, so far they're in vain. But there is something that Nnewi people must do. They must do what Igwe Orizu has called us here to do, to plan about the next generation. That next generation, was also family business. But that generation, that thing that made Nnewi successful, that Uche, that Uchu, that Ibambo that made Nnewi successful, I am accusing at the next generation. Are they learning that in the next generation? The schools in Nnewi, are they teaching the students in Nnewi that culture that will take them to the global industry? Because it's not enough to say no Muge. For most part, most of the big men in Nnewi, Omufa will never come back to Nnewi. In the child school in America and London, they may probably never come back to Nnewi. Kidnappers, so they will never come back. It is these people not here. India for obodo kwaka wezu. Mgbe ndị Igbo bụ ndị Igbo, ọ na-abụ obodo bịa kpaa alụsị, kedu nwa m akwụkwọ n'obodo ezigi obodo oyibo. Kedu nwa mụrụ afịa na-azụ afịa ọfụma eduo ya ụlọ. Achọrọ m ka ndị Nnewi duo their next generation ụlọ. Kafa invest here in their schools, in their education. I conducted a study last 2 weeks in Idemmili North, Idemmili South, randomly selected students. For an exam na my CBT center. 90% of them had not done a computer-based test before that day. And they were preparing for JAM. So these students, nobody is investing in them. I felt so bad. I said I will open my center every weekend. How to use the computer free. Because those are the people that will stay. Our children will not stay. They are the ones that will make Obosi walk. They are the ones that will make Nnewi walk. They are the ones that are rolling on local government. All from Waga on Nnewi General Hospital. All from Wagabu security men. All from Wagaba police. All from Wagaba army. All from Wabu the future of Igbo society. Oburanda anungano n'obodo Igbo. Faga ano na Zen. Faga ano na Wells Fargo. Faga ano na onye bi osege na nwam no with Microsoft. Nwam no with KPMC. Wonderful things. I love it. But Opera faga make this place work. Ina bata Nnewi kita na ilodu na Nnewi. Who's that area to come into Nnewi? Government will case in faga lawyer or not. But when Nnewi bodo kwesili nwe his own government. That government should be able to collect property taxes and fix infrastructure in Nnewi. Nnewi have no reason to wait for the government of Anambra State. Nnewi has absolutely no reason. It is a disgrace to the name of Nnewi. N'ụzọ gafee n'afịa afọ eji ama atụ. Ife eji ama atụ. Ife the world na-ekwu maka ya. N'ụzọ agara ya. Asị maka gịnị na gọọmenti alụrụ ụzọ. How? With all these properties in Nnewi, ha na-akwụ 100,000 naira every year. Nnewi can have a governance structure. Nnewi not with a single local government. Transition chairman, you should stop thinking about federal allocation and state allocation. Think about Nnewi as an organic entity. Think about Nnewi as capable of investing in its future. And we're teaching hospital na Nnewi. Nnewi, they are about 30 minutes away from Igba Abunuzo de Marketa. 45 minutes in on Asaba Airport. Igba 1 hour in on Owerri Airport. Another 50 minutes in on Anambra Airport. Nnewi can be the center of medical tourism in Nigeria. Makagini, one no working on Rift Eba Noa. Kedafia Okuosa, Meko Okuosa. Unwe cardiovascular hospital na Rift here. Igba straight uza akete banyo Rift. Igafe ije na nke Okija. Na nke Next Oil. Unwe pediatric hospital. Plus a teaching hospital in Nnewi. Why is this place not the center of medical tourism in Nigeria? Why is Nnewi people? Why are Nnewi people waiting for the government? The government of Nigeria is a failed government. It's not going to work. The government of Nigeria is failed. So we must save ourselves. We cannot be talking about intergenerational wealth transfer when there is no generation. We must build that generation first. Even Adiebo Kwesiledi. And then they will be able to. So, open and then they were manani. We vision for Nnewi. The next 30 years, where would Nnewi be? Where will our schools be? Where will Okongu Grammar School be? Where will students coming out of here be? The story of Nnewi is not the story of Mmesoma. The story of Nnewi is the story of brilliant people who are in the market, toiling every day. Those boys in the market need education. We must create that next generation for us to be able to transfer wealth. Wealth is not just family wealth. Wealth is the collective effort of transferring the knowledge and skills of a previous generation to the next generation. Once you transfer it, you sustain that society. Once you transfer it, then you live in that world I call Niger, which is different from Nigeria. In Niger, if you go around the world, they are playing Nigerian music. A quota system I go. If you go to a quota system movie. In a movie, I will not work. In Niger, everything is competition. The future of Nnewi is the future of Niger, where everybody here has suffered, worked hard to make well. We must hand that over to the next generation.
Hello. Hello. Okuna afune. Chukwu ya gozi Chief Oster Chidoka. Maka ife ogwala anyị. And I know ya. Ogwa no ya. Ogwa no ya. So inu got to lie. So I digest of ma. So kangala no lo Dr. Nsedo. Maka man no take a note if I need whoever. So because now I kwelu nkwa na ya na eba before 1:30 okay? And we are doing well with time. But the next stage you book it the keynote speaker. Hello. Say ke is na madu don't know. E bia don na don. Oh, e ma no ice na e 12 eba. Dal. So o e bia just don na no won ya e 12. Maka akwọ ka dalemu. Don't. The next stage you kitab if among na Chief Chidoka will go this expansive because on our odiva go e kujaza na church abasana. Mana nka wo tip of the iceberg because on when the neighbor so the next thing I abo mmadu na abo onye nke mbo wo adai wine a lawyer an entrepreneur and the chairman of the first quoted company Nanewi, that's the Cuttings PLC. Because this be a bido ti base bido. Look at we Chief Ajus or the and then bido we good vision. We mali va kita. Other come back MBA and Harvard. I think so, right? So ofuke twice we for them bamba. Ne need the me fa Chief Chidokapu. We don't know make them and the company do quoted and it's been doing well. But it can do better. Right? So and if you want maka business, or can I implement here, but they can as well do better because any company name of can do better. So I na bonite, I na bonite barrister Mrs. Ifoma Regina Mwahiri. Adai why? Kobia will load cheba. You're born the Akadon. I'm our chairman of a PLC. So, PLC will publicly quoted company do and they trade the shares for the Nigerian Stock Exchange, right? So, well, then the second person will okay, Chidoka what or the first time for I join you near Muya, Macano in there, no, I don't want Mueloya yen. So, Mokosi a quo, Makosi agije, my humility, or in there, or an engineer, well business on them, Melano, because yet to if I Chidoka with Zoku, because I saw quite is Macapado de Aquado, who deputy managing director Chikasen Group. Because I engineer, they can look out for Cobia will note. When more, we can get away, we can get on with them. If I make it up, I had to can go to their experiences, right? If you want to, because these are people who the second generation of Ifeanyi Ekwueba. Then thereafter, how Kuchazi then the Madnabo, who expert, senior advocate of Nigeria. And Dr. Mbonu Baomakia, from Ife Chief Chidokapu, Nifa and Ondaku, Yotago, they will now address the issues why the reason why you are here, technically. So upon Ife go. So can them just be there back one test them when noche. So what I microphone now? Okay, can I be with barrister Mrs. Regina, Ifoma, Wiley. So, anybody find a Weber, right? Hmm? Yeah. So, we get so you Manina, where I was, Makamane, Massive, one kept where so one kind of hand. So, until we find a Weber. Now, what is there any problem with generational wealth transfer in Southeast? What's your impression? Do you think there's a problem or not? What's your opinion? As a woman and as a da, Jenu Dinam Bozo, Biakita, who chairman of the company your father founded, and the first daughter, Nkija Udiopala, right? So, what is your impression of this?
Thank you very much for this question. First of all, I want to thank AlaIgbo for organizing this. And I believe that and I'm also very happy that you have children here to listen to what is dead on arrival as far as the Southeast is concerned. When Anayo called me and told me about this, there's this lyrics of a song that just came to my mind as soon as he gave me the topic by Orishefemi. It goes like this: double wahala for dead body. DJ, do you have that song? Can you play it for me? DJ, thank you. So for me, generational wealth is dead on arrival. Why? There are two dimensions to this. There are two problems facing generational wealth transfer. First of all, is the problem of generating wealth, and the second problem is the problem of transferring wealth, sustaining it, and growing wealth in the Southeast. Now, I would like to look at generational wealth transfer, not in the terms of businesses, but generational wealth transfer in the people of the Southeast. Three causes of the problem: the family, our culture, and succession planning. But I'm going to focus on our culture because it cuts across the family and succession planning. In the Southeast, unfortunately, we have our customs and tradition that erodes, impedes, and destroys the intellectual property of our people. Our people are entitled, our people are dependent. And that's why we are not able to reach the capacity, our potential capacity as a people in the Southeast. We have our boys and men waiting to inherit. We have our girls depending on their father's wealth or their brother's wealth or their husbands, just because our culture has designed the laws or practices to support such things. And those things kill our intellectual capacity. Let's put it in perspective. Every year we have the Afiolu Festival, the New Yam Festival. This New Yam Festival, our forefathers have set up centuries ago. And for us, the yam represents wealth. The yam represents productivity. In fact, the name, as it is, Afiolo, connotes that it was set up as a vehicle to encourage and celebrate the generation of wealth, generational wealth, and productivity. But what do we have now? Every year when we come for Afiolo, we see our youths, our people, flogging, littered all over the streets, flogging, extorting money, asking for money. It's really, every year it breaks my heart when I see it. I said, how can we have this waste, amount of waste in our place? And we are celebrating the Afiolo. When this festival, I believe our forefathers set it up as a vehicle to transform Nnewi, to transform even Nigeria to be greater than any country in the world. So I would say that if we really want to solve this problem of generational wealth, we must solve the problem of generating wealth in our people. And the Afiolu Festival, as far as I believe, is a vehicle to this change. But before the Afiolu Festival can be used to impact this change, we must do something about our culture.
Yeah. Okay. Are you done?
No. Let me recommend something.
Okay, go ahead.
Our children from the age of 7, because I know that even at the age of 7, they are they already know what Afiolu is, preparing for how they will do their masquerades and all that. If we can encourage our children from the age of 7 and above, every year, you prepare for what you are going to harvest at the end of the year and showcase as your product, whether it's intellectual product or what have you. Every single year, for 4 days, every community celebrates that. This would open up a lot of partnerships to create founders, co-founders, investments for our people, because industries like we have Kutix, Ekesin, Chikasin, Ekesin, all these industries, they are human beings they are going to pass these things to. This wealth, they are human beings, and we need our people to, if we celebrate things like this, they can come and form partnership with these people who have developed something. They can also invest in them. Banks can invest with them. Our people in diaspora, can invest in them. So what I'm just trying to say in essence is that something really needs to be done about our custom, our culture, and the festival which we celebrate. Let's use it to become that real vehicle that our forefathers had engineered and set it up to become.
Okay. Okay, so we're taking note here because some things are coming up, right? Since the spin-off about modernization of our festival, the culture and all that. And again, basically the tourism industry, right? We need to develop that.
Yes.
So now, the second one will be, what attributes should anyone who plans to create or sustain conglomerate like yours possess? So what, in essence, now you are there, right? So what and what do you intend to, what are you going to do differently to ensure that either there will be a continuation or a better situation by the time you are gone?
Yes, this is part of the reason. In fact, that's why I accepted this invitation, because it's really important that I come to say this. We can't be talking about planning our succession when there's no one to succeed. We need to have our children, when I say our children, not blood now. The people of Nnewi, we are brothers and sisters. We need to have everyone, let them have the capacity to generate wealth. And when they have that capacity to generate wealth, with the issue of transferring wealth, worried about sustaining or growing it won't come up, because our children would they will understand the value of wealth creation. So when you have someone, even when they're employed, and let me give an instance. We all have businesses. We have your employees. Why is it that your employees will just come after all? They say, if I have a business, they make these statements. Why? Because there's no sense, that sense of ownership is not there. There's no platform, that enables them see that what they are doing is actually for themselves and their families, not necessarily, they're not working for whoever owns the company. So we need to change this idea by making all these changes that I am hopefully recommending, so that in future, in 10 years' time, we're not going to be having these issues of transferring generational wealth, who to transfer it to, whether it's our children or anyone in Nnewi or someone whoever it is. But I hope that in 5 years' time, I don't even want 10 years, someone will be able to do something better than me. That's my prayer, and all of us who are leading right now.
Hello? It is not easy for a farmer to sit down to talk here, right? Hope you understand that. Yes. So, and if you've done well, how does it feel being the first woman from Nnewi to be a chairman of a quoted company in Nigerian Stock Exchange? If they get on our bags.
First of all, I didn't know I was the first woman, so I don't know. And secondly, I don't feel any different. So, yeah, something.
Okay, that's fine. Then the last question from you. How do you manage family expectation of your position in this business? Where this business that you are the chairman and your family holds a significant amount of shares there. You know, how do you actually manage family expectation, right? From your siblings, your father, everybody in the family.
Well, it comes to the same thing we've been talking about, how you are raised. My father set up boutiques and did the most difficult thing by setting up a company because it's very difficult. But I can tell you that my father was available for us throughout the time, and we didn't even know he was setting up something as big as this. So what I'm saying in essence is all about organizing yourself and planning, you know, investing the necessary amount of time for everything that is important to you. So I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll still come back to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, Dikana, just like I could, I forgot now, because sometimes say, if you see me, I've seen my father. So when he speaks, you think that Chikason is here. So being the chief of the old block, do you feel trapped in your father's business when you could have done other things by yourself? Do you think that you are being asked to do what you don't want to do? Probably would have loved to be a musician.
Good afternoon, everybody. The answer is yes and no. Yes, in the sense that when the business was being set up, yes, in the council, when they build a business, and before the faith is why, as like, you know, almost now, yes, if we build a yanking, but the look at towards the end, if we didn't know me, so I would yes, but the no part of it now, I don't feel trapped because I'm worked all the time. Because you'll move for the faith. Make him can develop with passion before them. So if I want to make my own passion. So initially I would have said yes, now all the car on your for mom. But no young on a couple. So in a way, yes, I'm not trapped because I'm pursuing my passion.
Okay.
Yes.
Then how do you manage the weight of expectation from your dad, who is still active? Active. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Gonna call him. Then who, like his fellow oldies, believe that the children will always make great mistakes if not properly guided. We are active. You take decisions, you will cancel it. So how do you manage that?
Okay, thank you very much. I'm still managing it, to be frank with you, because Odogwan Hepempe, the man is a very strong man. But that being said, it hasn't been easy because we've had our loggerheads. But I would like to say I enforced some of my own ways of Daba, of fear of Daba or Yapna. But can't hali Jujo, Dale within, or can't hali Major, can't hali anything. Can be him put on here, or Jom Kovale him to me. Or I can't or give me a mental hope, because Obon and Checker, we keep with your hand move, I can manage it. Make mistake then, okay, when we correct him. Oh, we got out the different name. So, yes, down, now look off, but I cannot dog it.
Okay. Digana, I had an opportunity to discuss with your dad one time concerning the role of his children in his business. So I think there was a time the man took the whole family to INSEAD for training. What actually happened? Tell us about that. And what happened? And would you recommend that kind of experience and tell us the impact?
Okay, thank you very much. I highly recommend that. What actually happened was my dad started off like he no everything. So full was why I was saying okay. Ije ku nwoke ụmụ gị ndị nwoke ije ku ụmụ gị ndị nwanyị. The best of all was 2-2-2-1. Ụmụ gị ndị nwanyị nwere first class. So kedu ife ị na-eme n'ọsọsọ ụmụ nwoke ka ị ga na ife ife a dị kịta na ịkpọchi set up na onye pasịtara ọgbawa because na ọ bụ na ọmụ ka e bunyere na mbụdi ọkpara company da agụ agụgbo mbụgwụgwọ nwanne m weta kwunye onye ga-apasị nwunye ma ma anaghị ọ bụ na mmadụ hara the business at least ndị ga na-abata. So that is what inspired Nyawa, na one of my sisters, Ije instead. Put here there, and you make people make sense. So since then, he actively now brought in my sisters into the business and placed each everyone. And I have to say, when you're person in the business, or you have a passion for it, and if you be somewhere, okay, be within an ad. So like now, AlaIgbo deputy managing director. One of my sisters is the senior manager in a real estate company. One of my other sisters is the senior manager in our procurement. My brother is the depot manager. So in that book, like I be intentional about it. So yes, I will recommend it because we don't need to reinvent the wheel. These companies, like the oldest family business in the world, the Japanese hotel. I know that they are 42nd or 43rd generation. All mine is maybe they 710 AD. All mine is here. EJ there, if you can do the Hermes mill, can you Rothschild mill, can you Rockefeller mill? You don't need to reinvent the wheel. So those kind of courses, I highly recommend them. Okay. They really open eyes.
Okay, that's fine. I'm not before a better business, Papa. You are the preparations in way. I'm a consultancy firm. Look at that. If you do business, I can. You are the experience in way. Also, get preparation in way. You better the role, in a play now.
Okay. One, I thank God for the kind of father I'm with. Also, like with zero sense of entitlement. Like when I was 8 years old, my father was a from one. I will go now for also called Jepota, by him with the Halon Dawal. 1 year later. So you can imagine if you will have 3 house help, you will washing machine, you will everything. You don't know to get a swap. If you're going to if I need a cack of rice, my gym, everything equal, something like that. When I to school, my pocket money when no UK was £2 a day. When you know UK, my £2 a day is absolutely nothing. Oh, man, go phone, one them come there and go phone. Go now, my partner goes phone. Nobody go on again. No can could get here. You know, but in Nigeria, Otihan the company, Otium nearby can shut all on a PwC. JD, more everything. Metapa Biduan came when joined the Chicago group. And we got them title. Even more about no chief apprentice. If you don't a depot, if you don't a factory. For in terms of preparation between our insecurity from 2015 to date, I used to come to Nnewi every month. Every month, Abia in our factory, you know, buy pempe, on our buy a jollo. Every Saturday, of him came in on Saturday J factory. Only if you name it, I think you get develop. You know those little things. One, you start owning the whole business yourself. It opens your ideas. If one you know, so yes, those kind of exposing your children, allowing them to make their own mistakes, listening to their own point of view is very, very vital.
Okay, now I got I talk maybe two students nearby. So I will honor if Dr. Loto College, right? They brought in 30 students, right? Because if I want to see then I will follow undergraduates not here. So we're intentional in inviting them so that if I when they lotaliano na no river. So my like he pick 2 questions. No flavor, eh? So I'm nas na sunu suibo. Ekuno bokwe. So we get so madam each always is immunity. So now madam banda neba wo chikasen, eh? Only na chikasen, only na kutis. We you have question. 3 questions from you. Even if you go go here, Yajun. Eh? Go. Go. When I can. When I can. Any question? Okay.
Good day, everyone. My name is Mbe David, and I'm necessary in Dr. Lutus College. We heard a lot about what you people said about preparing the next generation to take care of all the businesses so that there will be adequate transfer of wealth. Then we have heard a lot. Then my question is that we as the new generation to take care of all these businesses, what should we do to get prepared? Like what should we do to be prepared to take care of these businesses? That's my question.
Note it. Then who's next? Okay.
Good day, everyone. My question is, I have actually, my name is Kenechku Victor. My question is, I've heard about what you guys have advised us, the new generations. But my question is relating to our parents. Since our generation is trying to get misbehaved from the other precepts of our former generation, why is it that today, instead of our parents to help to guide us to that path, they tend to try to configure our destinies? Like some of them will be like, young man, maybe go into sciences or do arts, those kind of things. Instead of trying to inculcate the values, they try to impose what they want us to be, or what they wanted to be in the future. Thank you.
Deacon, now you take the first question, then Ifeoma, you take the second one.
Okay. Thank you very much for the question. If I got you right, you were asking how do we, young people, will I say, get the right mindset for generational wealth transfer. One, the first thing is that you're doing the right thing by being here. Okay? Anaha Make Ananka. You have to, you yourself, your parents have done the best they can do in terms of educating you. But you yourself have now developed that hunger and that passion for whatever it is that your father is doing so that he can transfer the knowledge. And let me say, when we're talking about generational wealth transfer, it's not actually about the wealth itself. What we should be focusing on is the knowledge and the mindset that created that wealth in the first place. So that with that mindset and the knowledge can be transferred to you. Because now, it's a matter, when I go and I go to it just catfish. But no or the main issue. So, in terms of generational wealth transfer, that mindset, you need to educate yourself. You need to make yourself, put yourself through some rigors. The best thing you're doing right now is that you're here, you're listening. Even if it's one thing you take out from this place, 20 years from now, you won't know what impact that single knowledge of what you came from here can impact in your life. So you need to be intentional about learning from both our mentors, both our parents, both our community. You need to be intentional about it. So if you make it about the first thing that you know, can do challenges, so that's what I would recommend. Thank you.
So the second.
I didn't get his name.
Okay,
But
just answer. He will know.
yes, but you have to forgive your parents for trying to guide you, but you see it as control you to study go into a particular field. The only reason why they tell you that is because that is where you have limited opportunities, and they don't want you to come out and find yourself out of work. So, unfortunately, our society, we have just limited opportunities available for anyone. So you just have to try to, fit into those opportunities. But again, it's a saturated, we call it market now. And that's why we are saying that let us use our very strong culture and customs to influence the explosion of our intellectual property, whether you're a girl or a boy, so that you won't have this kind of case where you are forced to do something that you really don't want. God has put it in you to be something, and to add value to Nnewi or the Southeast or Nigeria and the world. But there is no platform for you, and your parents cannot see that platform available for you to thrive. So what I will go back to saying is that if we, our leaders, can use our custom, which is strong and highly influential, to transform this situation we find ourselves in, someone like you and many other classmates of yours will be able to do a whole lot and transform Nnewi in the next few years.
Okay, thank you very much. So now, there's somebody here from the UK managing the father's business that wants to say something. Maybe 2 minutes. US, yes. Want to say something? Here. Yes. But you stand, introduce your name. Oh, you come, let's see you. Let Nnewi see you. Please come. Oh, one Victor Maduko. Hi, and one and wine. Oh, no, I'm going to I'm not there, don't ma. I want you for a second.
Okay, thank you so much. I'll speak English. I apologize for that. My name is Njenje. I'm the daughter of Victor Madabuko here, and I'm currently working with him in the multiple family businesses. I'm very proud of the fact that I'm the firstborn and the oldest of 5, and that I've learned so much from my father. And I do have a question for you, Mrs. Ifoma. Thank you so much for speaking about your experience. And I think my biggest question was about the generation who was born abroad, but is now coming back to Nnewi and interested in investing in their community, but might not know where to start. So what is your experience with that?
Hello? Hello? Chalu, Chalu? Hello? Just a moment.
Yes.
Let's just give a little interlude. Igwe needs to see someone now. So let's just give Igwe. Let's stand. Let Igwe go there. We'll continue quickly. Right? Please. Only Igwe, please, because it's getting interesting now, right? It's getting interesting, yes. Igwe.
Ewo People's Club Nigeria.
Yes.
Odogwo Audio Fele Fa kwesile kwesi Ezia Fakego Ana Kwadebe Audio Fele People's Club Odogwu Igiligi adabukwa nanyo Odogwu Odogwu Igiligi adabukwa nanyo Oko si adio Igiligi adabukwa nanyo. National President, People's Club of Nigeria, Prince Titus Ite Omezuoke, anyị sokwa n'azụ onye ọma chebe anyị. People's Club ono dị sọnụ. Ife anyị bido na agba onye ka anyị wechi ala sọnụ. Ọkọ meno onye ka anyị ji kalịsịanụ. O ji ife nwata tinyezienu n'ukonu. Akalobe ni owo nwa nwe ife we.
Big up. Look, Igwe is going out now, so we're starting. My sister, yes. So they did not understand your question because some people were not listening. So when Igwe leaves now, so we repeat, right? And so what? Everyone at your school.
Yes, two of them.
Yeah, so then you didn't say.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'll talk about
Yeah,
that.
so that they know your experience, right?
Yes.
How long business you do and all that, and you are able to do what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. And can you chime in if I'm missing anything? Can you chime in to ask additional questions?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Hello. Okay, chetunda ka apụta ko. Eh? Okay. So can you in 2 minutes? Biko, 2 minutes.
In a manner that is almost like a movie, live to Nnewi people living across the world. They do not understand the symbolism of that ceremony because they are not able to wake up by 4 a.m. to log on and to see the Afiolo festival going on. They are not able to log on in the morning and see the Ofala festival going on and understand what it means. They are not able to, some of them are able to log into the Catholic Church in Nnewi now, online, to be able to attend service. Some are able to log into the Anglican Church online to be able to log into service. So the idea of a global village, the idea of training our people here to have the capacity to draw the skills and the finance of the international community is what is missing. And I think it is time we invest in these young people to activate what you have.
Thank you. Iko was please, you won't go until we go. Eh? Because you are just an encyclopedia. Thank you very much. Thank you. I think this is an MBA thing. Just said, just made it easy. Now, I want us to, where I'm keeping this, the lady and gentleman here. So let me talk about, somebody asked a question about, we are talking about people distributing wealth that have been made, right? What about many people who are here who want to distribute, but their father did not make those wealth? Are they going home here despondent, right? So maybe you have 1 minute to talk about this. Then thereafter, we'll come back to you again. You tell us about your experience. We want you to inspire a lot of young people here. You manage 2 businesses in the US. Tell us your experience and all that. So that the young girls that are here would aspire to be like you. Yes. Okay, good.
Good afternoon, everyone. Honorable Minister Ikobosi. No. Something actually came as we are having this discussion. A thought came into me that some of the children, especially the children, they don't have the opportunity that Ifoma and Dekana had. Both of them, they have the opportunity of having parents who have something to hand over to them, and they can manage it. What of the children? I just want to make a statement I'm not going to go in there because that's not our topic today. Our topic is solving the problem of generational wealth transfer. But I want to encourage those that had nothing to transfer. Their parents have nothing to transfer to them. So they have nothing. But I want to tell you now that Dekana's father had nobody, no father that transferred to him. He came as some of us. I won't say me, I'm not part of it. But something has been transferred to me, so I can't deny that. It's me holding it. That's what we're talking about now. I'm telling you that people that don't have anything can do something. Ibeto had no father. She stopped schooling at age of class 2 secondary school because nobody was there for him to train him. Louis Carter's father was palm kernel something. We're just doing local things. Excuse me. And Dick Anna's father had nothing to give the father before he became what it is. That we can as well, much as we don't have fathers or have the background of getting anything to transfer to us, that we can be somebody if we are focused. If we don't get into yahoo, if we are taking drugs, we can be somebody and we can have something to transfer to our children. Thank you very much.
Then we are managing time now, right? So our sister here, just a minute. Our sister here will have 2 minutes to do this presentation. Thereafter, we'll call on Dr. John Bono to come for the main presentation. Then other questions, he's going to repeat some of the things. Other questions will come in between, right? So Dr. Bono will make his presentation. Thereafter, then Mazi Afamosigwe, Senior President of Nigeria, will talk about the legal angle. Then we'll take all the questions because we must close here. We must leave here by 2, right? It's very important. So, one more.
Thank you so much for giving me the space to talk about my experience. I wasn't expecting to speak at all today, but since I'm up here, I just want to start off by saying that the biggest inspiration and trigger for me being the person I am today would be my father, who's sitting in the audience. And about 4 years ago, when COVID was just starting up, and all of my job interviews were canceled and things were put on hold, and there was a sort of pause in the air, my father approached me with an opportunity to work with him, just as an assistant for the summer and see how things go. And this was at a delivery company in the US, and it is a partner of Amazon, the largest distribution organization, probably worldwide. And from there, it took off. So that's been the past 3 years of my life. I went from assistant to manager to operations manager, which is what I am today, at this delivery company, supervising about 120 employees and about 10 managers and dispatchers. Now, at the same time, I also started working at my father's HR firm. So this is work done with recruiting and hiring and staffing, mainly with medical organizations all over the US. When I started with my father's HR company as just an executive assistant about 3 years ago, we had one major client in one state in the US. Since then, we have brought on 3 or 4 additional clients, and we are in about 30 states in the US with over 200 employees over this past year. As I said, mostly in the medical field. I never thought that this is where my career would take me so soon after graduating from university, and I want to say a very big thank you to my father and to the culture that he was brought up in, because the main reason he came to me and not to hire someone with already that experience to run a company is because this culture is all about investing in your own and growing them, training them, preparing them to succeed you so that you have someone that you trust and know will care for something that you've created just as much as you yourself do.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We appreciate you. All right, thank you very much. And thank you, the father, Victor. So this, let me take this opportunity to thank Barrister Mrs. Ifuma, Engineer Deacon, for coming here to tell us something. You still participate, but you may want to take the liberty to go back to your seat so that I may call Dr. John Bono. So you do back to back, right? So when you are done, right? So I think we will have, if you have questions, note the questions. Then Mazi Afamosigwe will deliver his own talk. Then we'll now ask all the questions. When we are done, then we'll now consider closing. Because you can see this is something we should actually be having every year. You can see that, right? Thank you. So, Dr. Bono, please. Otherwise, I'll deliver your lecture.
Okay, thank you very much. I think I would like to stand on all the existing protocols. Whilst he's setting up, there is something that I think we should not lose sight of, and that is the unique talent of a visionary entrepreneur. Chukwu kere mmadụ niile iche iche. O nwere ndị Chukwu kere waya ha na-afụ ife ndị ọzọ ha afụ. Ya o nwere akụkọ a na-akọ na oge Chukwu kechara ụwa, o wee kpokọrọ ndị ọgaranya ganye n'akpa wee fegharịba. O ruo n'ogbe ndị o tinye aka n'akpa gharị ha mkpụrụ mmadụ one na one bụ ndị ọgaranya. O jere na-efegharị nya o ruchara mana Obosi, mana o wee ruo na Nnewi tinye aka n'akpa, akpa wee danahụ ya. Wee tigbuo na Nnewi. O nwetazi ndị fejegasịrị mana Ọkịja mana Ụkpọ mana okwe ghọtagasị. Nya nọ ndị ahụ ka a na-ekwu okwu maka ha. And ọ dị mkpa na anyị na-eme ife anyị atodo anya n'ana jiri n'oge mmadụ ndị ahụ bụ kwado ha. The same thing with generational wealth. Okay, sorry. The may give a very, very brief presentation, and that presentation will be very, very brief. And then after that, I'll take a lot of questions. The topic I present today about the sustainability and succession planning for family-owned conglomerates. Now, nke a very typical trajectory. Now, family-owned business typically make a mistake. They use the opportunity to transform what has supposed to be transformed. If we're back, Odogu abidoro na akwambo. Nya ndị a kwuru maka ha. Chukwu kere iche na-afụ ụzọ. O nwere ndị ya dara n'ikpe akụ. Ha ya ma ha dara n'ikpe akụ. Mana o nwere ndị nọ ebe afụ na ikpe akụ dị na nkwọ. So Obido will bring up his company. Typically, the startup period is about 5 to 10 years. Typically. Then Oliver. Normally, the ability to articulate vision. How will the ability to inspire others to see their vision? How will the ability to recognize people Hana ha nwere ike ije that ije. I notice ye ndị kpatara ego a na-ekwu maka Chikasin, Chukwu, Kennedy Chukwu. Ha na-akpọrọ ndị mmadụ debe n'akụkụ ha, ha na ndị ahụ a na-arị. Mana ebe a na-enwezi nsogbu bụ o nwere ebe that business ya ejeruo, o buruo nnukwu ibu, o wee bụrụ ife niile ọ na-eme ebe a o ji succeed bụzi ife dị ahụ jide n'ala. And that is where you have to start transforming. Because kids are on business na Nnewi a, o buru ibu, i wee nwee branch na Sierra Leone, i nwee branch na Rwanda, i nwee branch na Cairo, or how's it the way eji arụ ọrụ ya ka ihe eji were arụ ọrụ ya. Otherwise, ọngụ ihe eji aka were gbuo. So, there were 3 major issues need to prevent that transformation to take place. The first one, Ike obviously talked about it, is the inability to consistently think and revalidate and act strategically. Now, the most important thing here was that for strategy, if I need to make a onwe akịta onye nụrụ ebe akịta nwere ike ikwife ya emechi. Ọ dị possible. Mana one thing be certain, echi ya abịa. Whether ni tere ụgba o, ni tere oge, echi ya abịa. 5 years ya abịa. O, kọbansi niile dị n'ụwa, 5 years ya abịa. 10 years ya abịa. 20 years, yeah. And though if you marry today, you determine if you may, you determine if you may in 5 years' time, you determine if you may in 10 years' time. And though you have the topic of my talk, in order to run a business, you never know it to acquire a man no work in our because in another 5 years only change, in 10 years only change, in 20 years, he can't work one go. So, I have this one for people to read. Makankani even the consultant. I don't know at PricewaterhouseCoopers for 5 years. Or even the consultant in Japego. Mana, if the second important thing unavoidable, gives ya on the madonoro. And the same thing is yet determined no one kegi in the charity and business. Chukweke home in a cabro the same. And Chukweke haka hat kaguma. And we in Nanya, he make a decision that none of them can run this business. And there is no point bringing them in to run it. Ma Kawaki will set up your company so that it can be listed. Then hand on at the board, nearly dividend, and then I manage you. Money foreign keba carry over it, which did that business lito. Le muno le if any I can undo a mechanica maybe so Odumba now at the point in the made the transformation need Janya will chotanke anyado and double nature tahonke anyado make that decision. No do have better tikan na kuria. No do have better. Now Otalinde manage that business. And really dividends. Than any for Mavitia, which they poor. So no, you have to be practical about it. And we refer in Dutch or pure. That is previously unidentified recruitment error. So again, one very important thing about Nina Holunde Marinoro, typically when you interview as you can know engineer kind of when we're first class in engineering. How many years experience in engineering? In engineering. Character. ọ karịrị mma na ịhọrọ mmadụ nwere karakta, onye na-ahụ onye ohi, dani kpọtara injinia bụ akaraka injinia mana ọ na-ezu ojide biznes gị tarie tupu ị mara ife na-eme na set ya up a competitive business na-arụ ọnụ against your own. So character, and then when you test character and the references are very important. A jaw, Umahonata, go nyohi, Ije to cha go nyohi answered. I have freely no go nyohi, a juice of man. Go ahead the car on your nokataputa, Amahonia Muriana, Amahonia never, Amaha Fess, Amahoga Muria. I'm a home school, that's not never soon. So, not important that character. Because of again, in fact, you never even happen so that it can be shared. Can Jenna demand will pitch for number 3, and that is leveraging good corporate governance. Even mean by corporate governance. Now, mmadụ bido business ya, particularly a visionary entrepreneur business ya, onya ji aka ahazi ife niile, onya na sign check, onya na agụta aja, onya na-eme nke, anya na-eme ife niile, business na-agbago, ọ ka na-eme, mana o nwere ebe business ya abịa ruo, although it's possible for him ime ife aha niile. Before you make it, will restrain that business from growing. And well, SCMA is set here up good corporate governance. Good corporate governance is so important that when you prove about people wanting to come and invest in this country, there is nobody that will come and invest in your company if you don't have clear, good corporate governance. My brother Eba, Ejoku Bundu, Ijeku the PUI, Kahanya Ulo, get fire, I say, look at the Apoko, Kahachek, yeah, Imokoles board. I'm bored to call effective. Upon you here, it is almost impossible for a corporate investor to come. And one of the very important aspects of sustainable conglomerates, we find about mergers and acquisition. Yeah, organic growth or by acquisition. Whatever business here, build Jelua, Otumba, na business also. Look what can carry you there. They will move to the next level. Then after some time, they will move to the next level. I will give examples of companies who not familiar with, of which of who can roll with for 30 years, and that is Heineken. Heineken, that is Heineken as a company, begun in 1864, by Mr. Heineken. From that time to now, Hannah, about 7 different companies emerged, and then Hagokwa some people go to I'm only what I think Hakowa. Man, if the Banyana AlaIgbo, oh, Moon, no, that could have been so. When you open up, particularly for foreign investors, if you in a business, then they will refer to China name that business like you. One day on Korea, one day on Indonesia. And have you put a say, look, now I'm here for a business in the Meduma, and in the desert of the mission of my annual to join in partnership with you. Okay, I'm going to come in any year with only 25%. I'm going to 75%. I'm going to miss it. 25% of 1 billion compared to 25% of 1 million. If I did it, yeah? And the advantage of this corporate governance, because I'm happy with my computer, my administrative ways of managing businesses in a sustainable manner. So he lived from the local Navy level, will bagel to international. So, into partnership with somebody. Man, of course, he is Anya, or how much in audio due diligence. And then he chose here, then he invite our consultants, maybe found out due diligence, or Honan may laugh your mana, and you know, so it's extremely very, very important that they seek for that partnership. Another thing, good corporate governance in it will make you to be attractive to fund the managers. If I can, the BOI, the private equity fund managers, except in a dossier in a prepare financial statements of account on a quarterly basis, in a file where with corporate affairs, in what the tax is supposedly, in a conduct for your annual general meeting, a record of file with the Corporate Affairs Council. All these things, yes, if you want to continue operating at the level on air, it is important. But if you want to move up, you have no choice than to set up good corporate governance. Finally, or the aim, the ultimate aim of getting your business sustainable, to be listed in one of the stock exchanges. Now, if in the matter now what about if an abangarebo, could even the matter yatrevu list company. I think a very good example. Kutix PLC. Because when you list your company and become a PLC, not only you are forced to now observe good corporate governance, external auditors will now be checking that you are implementing it. So whether that company will continue to grow. That is the advantage. And I can't understand why when you will business in will list in a stock exchange. The minimum you have to sell with 25%. Only 25%. 75%. And that 25% every year will make the only thing you can't do that anymore because you have to follow the laid down process, and all that laid down process when that company will continue again with that 75% and dividends. It's okay. The interest of that 75% amongst them. Only any of them feel naturally join the company. Of they join the company as a manager. Like the lady said, every managing director can't how can we shares here? So the long and short of my story is that you run all your business to a certain level. You should aim for it to be listed. And we found our listing requirements, although complicated. And thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Bono will answer all the questions, right? Only in a time na boso we be nkenke. Man okwelunkwa. Now release this thing online. So we post it in the major so that you can now read and ask questions. Or I drop phone number so that if you need to contact him, all the channel you pay go ya, but if you want to go this problem I have get only so or no consultant call to FCMB. Now the transformation hand were there. Dangote, Bua, Chikasen, right? And a whole lot. So all they experienced. So we want to solve that problem, right? Good of Shell, Heineken, everywhere. So on attack only like so call so only one question. Okay, and I detain no legal person and never get that. But we still want to hear from him, right? Because if I want you on a belly I think we should learn and write than to ask. And eco person your handle so that people can contact you and ask questions. Because I is very active in social media and you've been helping the youth, talking to people, and this is the crusade. All of us will have to, because if I just get then Afam Osigwe, the former secretary, national secretary, Nigerian Bar Association, right? Ne hope for a higher calling. So Afam, so only job to do here. So I think you just go straight and do the job. Thank you.
Thank you. After listening to Chief Ositachino Ikobosi, Prince Obionis, and Anna Ewus and others, I was tempted, they say, na he could give a mark. Count and Wenchetanas, no near Mahifo, Punas, and Omuni Kuchagi for you. I decided to share my thoughts. Many years ago, I had an encounter with a businessman. So and I casually suggested to him because no the will. Ha! Osimo tachakwa afu bego, otakwa afu keri omu ya. No nwo ha ya egbu onwe ha ha busisi onwe ha. So onwe lawyer a na-akpọ Chief Rotimi Williams, F.R.A. Williams. He died some years ago, about 10 years ago. Omuya, Monday was senior advocate. Can I absorb property in a court? So I know who can lady come can I go out from Agora. He will keep the child will. They deal will. I do federal will. And I know Kumaka generational wealth transfer. Kagale got 10 a wealth transfer on board Mogina manage. You can have a company outside as a manager. So Joseph Patrick Kennedy Sr., or Papa John F. Kennedy, he made a lot of money. He was American ambassador to China, and he headed SEC, the Security and Exchange Commission. He made so much money, and he created so many trust funds. And if Obunobi will create funds there so that in future his children would never have to look for money. Si we kenena nyafuna ne hapolo maasi ega abosa seaya. Money hapole a business itala for that you have spent your whole life in. Na ha manage. And by the way, ane kwamaka wealth. Wealth also includes intellectual property. As you know nya ni je na nko to opono nya magwo maka aru nkita maka eba. But no your transfer that wealth without his secret knowledge of how to make that draw. And now sin na hapologi something. I want to bank at one art or craft. You can transfer it to another person. Go to a bank or company. No, say wealth normally a brand or trademark you have developed, you can transfer it to other persons to continue to benefit from it. Well, cases before. mmadụ nwere ike na-aka n'ebe ọ sịghị na o nwere ya eke ife na oke ife o duhie na ụmụ ya n'obi onye ọ na-ejezi ọkpọrọ nwunye ebiri ebe a na onwe ya ajụkwe na ọnwụọ ha kere ife ya n'isi na-enwere omenala ụfọdụ agha amụta nwoke ọ sị ka ife ọ na-eke a na-eke nwaanyị ekpe na-emezie asịghị na ori ekpe ofu kesi wee si na Nnewi a gbasara ndị Nnewi si na from High Court Ọnịcha jegide Supreme Court ewee kwuo na ya wee oli ekpe dị unconstitutional. Why do I say this? Ụfọdụ ga-asị ka ife ọ na-atala onwe ya afụ ọnwụọ emenie ka esi eme ọkwa ndị niile anwụrụ n'ọnụ ozu omenala ka esi wee kee ife ha. O nwekwara ụzọ omenala esi eke ife na-ebute esemokwu. So ife asị m bịa kwuo today bụ the need for legal guidance for an enduring and sustainable generational transfer of wealth. Enduring and sustainable. Ka ife o jide mkpa ị nwere ike ịfụ ụmụnne na-ebi ọfụma ọ bụrụ na ekere ife ọfụma ma ọ na-agụdoro otu a ga-esi wee mee ife ewee jebe court nwanne na ibia ya erizi morning ha ya eghe ọnụ azọgizi ife Rotimi Williams nwa ya na-akpọ Ladi Williams dị ọkpara ya nwụọ. Ike Ogbosi ekwugo maka Festus Okotie-Ebo Ojukwu's family. Some of these things na-eme n'ihu anyị and ọ na-aka mma kama a ga-eso okwu ka trust na ọnya wee hapụ ama na-eji ya ọfụma. You cannot so ọ bụrụ na ị nwere for example some of us kịta asị na ọ na-ego share na-asị ka o go share na company na London n'ogolu nọ na London n'ogolu nọ na Dubai efu na-ekebe na omenala Nnewi ma will law of property na Nnewi will not be adequate for the sharing of the property. Of them is to avoid paying huge tax and then also avoiding the administration of estate law. Really, in some property I want to issue the administrator, the state will take over now manage your property now. And in many cases or that the money has lost value. About 2015 or so, estate Rotimi Williams was valued at about 26 billion. So imagine that the part of that estate was shares in a company or a bank, and that bank has been liquidated, has gone under, or the value of the shares were paper value. So if you that 26 billion about ago, or imagine that 26 billion, or now realize they will go to like let's say $20 million as at 2012 or 15, and today that money may not be able to buy $10 million, so they've lost value. So it identified the importance of seeking legal guidance. The next question is, how do you do it? So I've talked about will. One other good way of doing it is by, for example, they were property in some countries. In London, for example, they the gift of a property, and you survive for 7 years after that gift. Amount what they call inheritance tax. So in the China tax, in where property, when you through will, in where the inheritance tax on that property, and they'll be forced to sell the property. So you can also do it by giving a gift in your lifetime. In where instead of it as a gift, it transfer the properties to a company. So you can also own shares in a company, and if you know it transfer all your holdings to a holding company, which will own shares in all these companies. So, and trustees, or you vest these shares in a trust, create a trust to own and manage these shares. So when you find out dynasty trust, so I gave example of Joseph Kennedy. That trust, he created many trusts, one for his wife and the children, some for grandchildren, and for many reasons. Trust is structured in such a way that now that trust is enough to train the children, take care of them. And it is so confidential that even the family members may not know how much under that trust. If you go, or qualify for the things the trust will fund, and then you get money has costing you. Because the trust will regulate what you get. By the full boss. So you can also transfer your properties to an enterprise to manage them. Bring in outsiders. Can transfer all your things to a trustee. You can also give them outrightly, like I said, to your children in your lifetime. Mecho. Echokwa. Ile figurie. When you go there now, when you need this. Not doing proper wealth transfer can from a family they go escape go poverty. I manage the proper that family and return all back to poverty. One of the leaders of Dubai said an interesting thing. He said, my grandfather rode on a camel. My father rode a Land Rover. Is it a Mercedes? I'm driving a Mercedes. He said, my cheap camel. The point is, because difficult times create strong men and good times create weak men. So it's also transferring wealth. You should transfer it in such a way as not to make your children have such good times they become weak and cannot sustain the wealth. And a court. I said, "Na konsi. Ahonye na akibensi na maybe onye anari ahonwe go jabu. I said, "Na konensi." Makana Kenya really like the prodigal, they cannot do more. Anybody can. I mean, if any of your children is in a position to manage the wealth, but transfer the wealth such that is sustainable. Not a company that has acquired a name. Could it be a Kutix, a Chikasin? You want it to stay and be there for over 100 years. Structure it in such a way that even where you have a weak child or a prodigal child, that child will not destroy the wealth such that you will lose it for good. So that you will not be the person that lost an enterprise or a business that it took you a lifetime developing. So that even in your old age, that business will still be there to sustain you. Lawyers are important, but also getting the advice of accountants and other financial advisors is very good, because lawyers have a way of being very skeptic. Sometimes they are investment wary. So don't think there is only a lawyer. So I'm not speaking because of I'm a lawyer. You need to get people who are experts, even the bankers involved, to tell you if you go and I've seen Anna stand up, so I know my time is almost up. So the point we are making is that for us to have this generational wealth transfer, we must do so in a manner that ensures that the wealth is not only transferred in a matter that is sustainable, but such as to achieve fairness and peace in the family. Thank you so very much.
So the good thing about that now, Afam came from Abuja, Nyakugo flight, then Dr. Bono, the same thing. Then barrister, Mrs. Ifoma, Kobo on Naho. So Hancha Beleba, na their own expense. Then Ikobo sin of Galeba, among no Jekelolone, so somebody going on about. So don't Kaikenen on that corner haka. So, a lot of people actually go whoever. Man, if I need to go hago, you have to go, yeah, the call, or you want to buy a question. But I don't know when that happen online. You have to, and then a record, if a record, can create a sequence near. That's why we may back to back. Then Dr. Sedo, all one time I get Biakita, don't know if I have to I post it online. So even if I play back as speech is named by me online. So I just go and I had to get a number and I do question and they as I making we give you a lot of your question about more as I will be. The experts will provide their number so they can ask the questions. So here a recap just here. Then Mrs. Ijomo Doye, from the Nigerian Chamber of Commerce, right, and Industry. And now the managing director of Kutit PLC. So Onyeze, vote of thanks on behalf of Nigerian Chamber of Commerce. So I conclude this session now in 5 minutes. Then I throw the opportunity for questions. And then we if our idea can be throw up. Then after that, after some questions, I think I will now saddle Ikobosi, right? So to answer as many of those questions, it will be his opportunity to do that. Well, thank you.
Thank you very much. I want to use this opportunity to thank the people that have spoken here today, taking their time to come here and bequeath a huge repository of knowledge. Fundamentally, what we have heard from the speakers, the keynote speaker, what he said here essentially covered most of the areas that the other speakers also dealt with. He spoke taking a cue from the music of the old, where several names of the business titans of Igbo heritage were mentioned, and the critical thing is that all those businesses that were founded by those great men today, that they are no longer in existence. And where they exist, they are a shadow of their former selves. So, what he identified fundamentally that had been the Igbo, like us, that we are children of war, Biafran war. You know, we were starved a lot during the war. As soon as the war ended, our parents doted on us, started purchasing bread and biscuit for us, which we never had the opportunity to eat. This essentially is what happened, what usually happens to a businessman of Igbo orientation. When he makes money, the children feel entitled. Even Mrs. Ifoma alluded to that. Deacon alluded to the same entitlement as one of the main key problems that make our businesses not to be sustained beyond one generation. Then he talked about value system. The same value system, when you take it to what Dr. O.J. Mbon brought here, has to deal with ethics, code of conduct. What type of board do you have? Do you have a board that a company will feel comfortable to come and invest in? He spoke about that. Then from the aspect of the legal angle, Osigwe took it totally from the Oliepe syndrome, which we are all now very much aware of, that women are very much entitled to the wealth of their parents, except when the parents were able to dictate how the assets will be shared. Then he spoke about the intellectual property, which is also very key to what a lot of people will benefit from going forward. So, Dr. Bono said he was more concerned about leadership. Leadership and how do you move your business to become public. When you go public, you lessen the burden of work you do in your businesses, but you accumulate more wealth. And also, there are ways you can diversify your organization that your offsprings can benefit more, share in the dividends without scuttling the businesses you work so hard to set up. Then, finally, I want to say that everything they have brought here to bear will work well if the business men and women of today will incorporate them in whatever they are doing, especially giving the proper orientation to their children about not having the sense of entitlement, about getting what we call the apprenticeship from another source other than their businesses, so that when they come back, they bring fresh ideas to the businesses that were set up by their parents, so that things built today can be expanded, acquire more businesses, engage in mergers and partnership. Then for the diaspora lady, the daughter of Victor Madubuko, whom she mentioned the fact that it's our culture to see what we are doing. From enjoying a vacation, from there they moved on to become a manager of over 300 people. And to that we are so proud. Thank you very much.
So, this is the publisher of Vision News First. Thank you very much. You see, on our OCHDB Abafa, Well, so Mrs. Odoye, is there time? Yes. So after this, then we can now take few questions. But we'll start with Honorable Augustine Ike, that left the proceeding in Oka to come and said he want to say one thing. So please go ahead.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm standing on behalf of the Navy Chamber of Commerce to say a big thank you. Yes, when Prof was talking, he said, na Nnewi na anatogali akpa belute na Nnewi akpa hupu. So I wetakwa. So the course of what we are doing here today is, how do we make sure na iha osi na baputa sinaka filaka? That's what we came here for. I must say I'm very happy with everything that happened individual, because na mutakwala ife ana making it in a very special way.
Answer those questions is our guest of honor. Because
Honorable Minister, okay, we start on existing protocol here. I'm standing on it, but I've included the minister in the protocol. I am Honorable Augustine Onye Kachukwike, Honorable Member. Please schedule little intervention, because I was walking into ABS TV program when Ikenga called me. He sent it to me yesterday, but I didn't get to read it because I am a budget defense. Instead, okay, Mecha Hana TV, Ogana Batabo, Afrongona TV, Keta Keta. We are a bit in a haste. We need more time. So, Ogao, Ejime, interpreter. Apotande Nazu de Menafia, Kahage, if I na a work time, Koyari won your Kureba, Anna Horiaka, call drop or mic. This is a very wonderful program, and I will only beg that we sustain it. Come, Africa is sustain Biakamoa. This is knowledge, and only if I'm invested in the course of knowledge, go west. So the only intervention I learned a lot, and I wish to learn more, and I don't have time. And I want to believe that most people here want to learn more, and they don't have time. Oh yeah, well, next time, a wider publicity, create here enough time. Come here, 2 days. Come here 2 days. Thank you very much. Welcome once more. God bless you.
Honorable, oh yeah, I'll comment. So let's stick to time so that people will ask questions. And Engineer Johnny for 30 seconds. He may even start coming so that we don't have to waste time, sir.
Dalo. Biko kam kulukwa na existing protocol. Ogen na the program na adam mana. Ife ana ekuzita awo ndeji ya hand over. Ndeji na pocket ha more investment that will hand over. Because organizers of this event diversize their name na ebe nsowudo wunde baka choiri oji man opportunity adaho. Eba can we problem in our society. That is why 70% of our youth today watch around, know where to rely. We move nowhere. Eba can we problem. So then in na biala eba actually something. Kele ebe ma bakwa soku wherever oji. Ebe parents me won ke nwela hand over. Okwane ya. Now, eventually, the now onwere ofu nwoke onye agụ atasịrị m soon na ya afụ ebe ndị youth ya ebido we no go gree and ahead the big man oji wealth oji experience oji investment onweghị nke oke agbasa ka ọ gbasa esi ebe a pụọ ejebe ebe ọzọ esi ebe a na-akpọ ewu revolution. Therefore, this organization target in our population of youth to now put every day nowhere to them.
Dalo, Austin, Dalo. We have conversation. I think this is the first of it, right? So AlaIgbo is a knowledge-driven environment where people will have to talk, will learn, and implement. Next year, I'm me. So, Engineer Refo? Yes, okay. So, can I take your questions? You are ready. Questions. So, Chief Chidoka will answer your questions. Now, so we'll take about 3 questions. We'll take them in a row. So if you have questions concerning if I have a time, I say, Baba Kita, Mandana, all those things, I have a chat up. So if I need to cook it out, business is still, only name and all that. Kelkai is CTCH, I will transfer so that Kefa allow now, okay? Or if I be at that. But so I am back with us, okay? So now, questions I do here related to that. But on now, you change go big question. You have to have one of that. You can number ask question. Samben, you will speak number 1, number 2, number 3. Samben, will you take 4? You want to make a comment? Okay, 4. Who is 4? Number 4, right? Eh? Shelu? Eh? Number 5. Yes. Okay. I said you want he made comment. He already made a comment. Now. There are many 30 seconds. You talk. Okay. 30 seconds.
Because I'm Elder Johnny Orefo. Action can go to Chukwu. This is the beginning, the dawn of a new beginning. I follow Romi Fede to an Newi. The Sikan Kene Chukwu. Maka you nwoke a bụrụ nwanne m nwoke. Achọrọ m ikwu ogologo okwu bịa nọ na mana this man melun ka o pụpụta Nnewi na Anambra Ife. Abanyela ọnwa ọzọ. Afụrụ m ụmụaka n'ebe a. Ọ ha ka a na-ekwu maka echi. Maka ụmụ anyị na ụmụ anyị. Anyị abịara ebe a ka anyị kwubo onye anyị bụ ma ndị anyị bụ. Iti aka n'obi. Question nwelu for ex-minister of aviation. And Dr. Bono Bikonu, what to diasporans? As a I'm a leader in America. So my question, what do we do to be accepted in our own town? They hate you. You will ideas. How many billions of dollars can you extend in Nigeria? So my question, what do we do with diasporans to be accepted in order to move forward? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ikubo will answer that question.
Hello.
Go on, Yaka. Us not 50 years old.
Good afternoon, everybody. I stand on existing protocol. Okay, my name is Kenneth Baro of Unotolo Newi. Just before I ask my question, because I can just respond to that. 4 years ago, I moved permanently to Newi. I'm an APIC, I'm not diaspora. Why I'm rushing now, because my family is quite diaspora. I just got further. So can you meet if I accept, you know, I moved back to Newi. I live in Newi now permanently for the last nearly 4 years. You know, and we're building the biggest cinema in Africa, not Newi here. Oh, but you know, Dick Amna, one of the things he mentioned here, yeah, in terms of generational wealth transfer. But sometimes a lot of the families, like your dad, you know, expose you guys, need send you guys to Peni's family or hotel business. So a lot of those trainings. Is it possible? Can we commit? Or we go to 3 times a year, yeah, to do those kind of programs? How about half a day? So someone like Dick Amna will come here, near snippets, you know, because those programs are very expensive to attend. But so in snippets, you know, so a lot of umaka, early teenagers and young adults, Papa ha, Mama ha, business people here. Is it possible that we can commit to educate them? Can we don't want to expose their minds, you know, to these things? Yeah? Sorry, because I really have to run.
Thank you. So,
May I stand on existing protocol? Okay. Ajụjụ ka m nwelu ịjụ. Ndị be anyị sị na afọ dị mkpa afọ ogologo imi ya. Before, egwu ha na Nnewi, you know the name Nnewi great as the name of a great town. Don't know. Or any plan for that. Mbada norozi. Yota. We can in the next 50 years. I won't a tribalist. Yota. But mbada norozi. When anything I get, make a transfer to our generation. Or even because mother knows my generation, maybe in there, thank you.
Okay, I know more wives. Iko was
Well, the questions are due. Number one, about the diaspora, how they will be welcomed. But now, before I get on the diaspora, Austin raised an issue. The Baka, the name where I have oh, no, I am the majority. I am majority. What if any line? I Bakaja Abuja, I'm Makaja Abuja. Any Njenje say Abuja Nata will profit. And what if I invest in Abuja? Elum Youth Service. Elum Youth Service. When you loan a camp, you build a camp. Here for them, about 30 naira. Okay, Simon Soka. I say no go moto. But was a night mile. By a moto, Abuja, Lu Abuja. By a boss in Nigeria, one. From there, I went to commercial. All profit. What came Jibia? What came my father name? My father Amorebe Abuja. What Ronyo send it Abuja? What Ronyo Man Abuja? Abuna Nenye note. What note in Jibia? Manelu de Mujua Fasifa. Natural me by the public sector, natural me the private sector. We mind for public sector. Kedifega have what all last name embargo on employment. So now they employment. Come on, you will know NYSC award and you get automatic employment. So for 1 year, I from Abuja, I my own examination ethics program. Now I got secondary schools, now Kuzulu Mazi, how to avoid examination cheating. We know the NYSC award. Abuja. Hello, Abuja. Bido na FCDA, General Senibu minister then. Njekulu the director of press, Mr. Speech, can Nyega can the speech. The man see me a journalist and say Amba. My name was experience in writing. So Bido the speech. Before then, the same thing come Ben Savon and SGF, soon to win the award. Omonya Dr. Babangida Aliyu, he was the SA to the SGF. And now se cambia Kenya. I said, okay, any problem? I said, I'm going to go CV ya. Funoje school na Pittsburgh, University of Pittsburgh, made this and that. Oh, you read my CV and say yes. I said, can you make it? No way for me. I get them. I get me. Just give me. Then give me. So he was shocked at my boldness, but we started from there. We don't need Idris speeches. Only file or send there to me, I will do it. He later became permanent secretary, later became governor of Niger State. Just for it. So you know this personal example, Makoma not here. Any disadvantage. In any disadvantage whatsoever. Why that disadvantage is that now itinyere uche tinye uchu n'ife ọbụla ị na-eme n'ụwa wee egwu Chukwu. The sky is your limit. So you need anybody inye gị anything. Achọrọ m ka unu wepụ ya from your mind. O nwere onye nye Concharis, o nwere onye nye Chikasin. Then all lucky ka ị dị, unu bụ 0.1% ndị their father nye. The 99% of us have to struggle. Have to fight for it. So I always advise young people that uche ka eji achụ ego maka iwere ego na-achụ ego na onwere ife ime maka ọ bụ na iji ego na ijekwunye ya na bank every month na of interest dịkwa ọba na ije ịchụ ego nọọ uche ka eji achụ ego ya kpatara na niile nwere ego bụ ndị nwere uche na ọ bụrụ ndị ji ego so ejiri ego achụ ego onye wrong philosophy ọ uche ka eji achụ ego eme ụmụazị kịta apụta ha ejede onwere $1 fadị n'ime ya ọ uche fadị ya enye m the example of Green African Airways Baba one day the boy bịakwute m na America just when I was living as aviation minister si m na-achọ ibido airline nsị airline ka ebe dị airline ga na-efe ọ sị m na Nigeria so ntọnụkwa gị nne anya si okay unu nwee aircraft ọ sị m mba no the proposal o bupụta the proposal gosi m beautiful PowerPoint 8 year but he was a graduate of Stanford University so he built on the network so unu anọkatakwa na si ebe a pụọ nwee the impression na anyị na-akpa maka wealth transfer anyị na-akpa maka wealth acquisition here so ndị diaspora enwere ife dịka diaspora na Nigeria ọ ịnata ọ ka njisi unu ebe ọ bụ na ị nọ uche gị ga-elu ebe anyị nọ to invest in our local anyị nwere local government ndị ma ife nọsi here mana anyị rapụ local government to ndị na-amara ife and ọma work si ewezi na pawanye onye amara ife we will pay a price for it this dollar na Tinubu gwelu ndị Yoruba detesi na gọọmenti ọ Buhari normalize ya iweta ndị Hausa befa tinyesi ya na all areas of government 8 years of Buhari bụ 8 years of disaster and that disaster bụ maka gịnị ọmara ife my view ndị amara ife adachi obodo unu ekwesịna ka ndị amara ife chi anyị because ndị na-achị achị bụ serious business ije n'obodo ọbụla ọ ndị je Oxford ọ ndị je Cambridge bụ civil servant not the other way round so all local government ka anyị enwero who should make it easy for people to know how to acquire and transfer property all local governance ka anyị enwero and once we acquire local governance capability then there will be no difference between diaspora and local. The local will be waiting for the diaspora and the diaspora will benefit from the local. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So, I had detained on Ikebosi for so long. All the guy released there. Okay? Mako beleba before every other person. Not na mote nature. If you all not the nature, because I hate you late. Right? But before then, Sam Ben. Just 1 minute, then we'll now close. Only chooses request on your day, because so that guys answer personally, right? Comment.
Okay, no problem. And then we can let me call you the chief guest of honor and the chief lecturer. Because if I talk and wo basalo, in any funny generational wealth. And all we do discrepancy. I just want to remove it. Comment more 30 seconds. People like Wafo Riz, Balana government, I'm even about government. But Wafo Riz like Ikobosi Balani, or do Uchu, Onweluche. Namuku George Akabo late. If all Bam Nandwa, and it does him one hana ke acquire value. Mannego Diego, Manago Diego, Yapotanozo. If we fanajo, okay, David Jebugoloat. And then in Apado for war. Another name would David is Kefa Melonia Buonia, I say Nefa Eme, Okobulie. And David became king. In fact, I know cousin saw Nebu 1,000, David Nebu 10,000. So, like Ikobosi said, you were he Oboro even Nagunyelu, only Ki Wu Dikana in a Quifa. Let me tell you the truth. Oh, all the lucky, no, my photo, Makama Mone. Obu no ma give to an nanya ni meba for them off or hand their over and you take over. Therefore, prepare and give yourself value. That's what I'm just putting in. Tinye value ni mo ngwegu. Koya we nanya chonya ya hand over that generation. Oboro or say no parents. If a group generation, I think I belong to that generation. So anything Nana hand over for all of us. So it is.
Dalo, can you all further neighbor? Go there in Ebelem Bechi. Father Peter is not here. And Lord Panoge before a lot of people. So don't do any Ebelem Bechi. I am on there. n'afọ na nwa na mmụọ nsọ enyemaka anyị dị n'aha dị nwe anyị Chineke nna kasị afọ mma anyị na-ekene gị ka isi dokọta anyị ọnụ ma ndị si ebe tara aka ịbịanye aka n'inye anyị nkụzi nke ụbọchị tata imejupụta ebumnuche gị ọbụladị mgbe ị kechara mmadụ wee nye ya ike ka o merie ụwa ka o doziwanye ya ka ọ mawanye mma nna kasị afọ mma anyị na-ayọ gị nkụzi niile e nyere anyị tata anyị daana na n'iyi kọma ka ọ tọọ atọ site n'agbụrụ banye n'agbụrụ dịrị na-aga ka anyị na-ana nna kasị afọ ọma nọnyere anyị duzie anyị n'ụzọ iji echekwa anyị ka anyị narụkwa n'ebe dị iche iche anyị si wee bịa ma rụrụkwa ọrụ anyị chụrụ uchu anyị gbara mbọ anyị wee na-aga maka otuto nke aha gị na ọdịmma nke anyị anyị yọrọ nke a site na Kristi onye nwe anyị nọnyere unu ka Chukwu ji ike niile gọzie ma chekwaa unu nna na nwa na mmụọ nsọ udo dịrị unu